Hello students, let us read this question. Show that the function f from r star to r star defined by f of x equals to 1 upon x is 1 to 1 and onto where r is a set of all non-zero real numbers. Is the result true if the domain is replaced by natural number and codomain being the same r? So in this question, we have given some function f of x equals to 1 upon x, and we need to prove that the function is 1 to 1 and onto function. So let us first understand what do we mean by 1 to 1 and onto function. So for 1, 1 to 1 function, we assume we take any two elements from the domain and we check, we assume that f of x1 equals to f of x2. And from this, if we get x1 equals to x2, if this condition is satisfied, then we can say that the function is 1 to 1. And for onto, we assume let f of x equals to y, where y belongs to particular domain. Then for every value of y, so for every value of y, if there exists x, then we can say that f is onto function. So let us check whether the given function satisfy these two properties or not. So our function is f of x equals to 1 upon x. So for 1 to 1, what we will do, we will assume that f of x1 will be equal to f of x2. So f of x1 will be 1 upon x1 and f of x2 will be 1 upon x2. If we take the reciprocal on both sides, we will get x1 equals to x2. So since we get the condition that x1 is equals to x2, therefore we can say that f is 1 to 1 function. Similarly, for onto, we will assume that let f of x equals to y. That means 1 upon x will be equal to y, where y will be belonging to r star. So from here, the value of x will be 1 upon y. Now now in order to prove that it is a onto function, we need to check for every value of y, there should exist a value of x. So we can see that the only value of y where x does not exist is 0, but our domain is r star where we do not include 0. So that means we can see that from here we can see that our x since y does not include 0, so for every x, for every y, there exists a x. For every value of y, there exists a x, and we can say that such that f of x is equal to y. So since it is satisfying this condition, we can see that therefore f is also onto function. Now, second part of the question says that whether the result will be true if we replace the domain with the natural number and the codomain being the same. So for the next part, our domain changes from natural number to r star. So we have to check if we change the domain, whether the function will remain same onto 1 1 and onto or not. So for let us first check for 1 to 1. So again here also we will assume that f of x1 will be equal to f of x2. So it will be 1 upon x1 equals to 1 upon x2. So it will implies that x1 equals to x2. Since it is satisfy this condition, we can say that again f is 1 to 1 function. And for onto, we will again assume that let f of x equals to y, and where y belongs to r star. Now it will be f1 by x equals to y, so x will be equal to 1 upon y. Now we can see that the domain of y is r star, that means it does not include 0. So we can say that for every value of y, there exists a value of x. But since the domain of x is natural number now, so for example, if we since y is a real number, so it can include a negative number also, or negative as well as positive number. So if you take y equals to 2, what the x value of x will be 1 upon 2. But this value 1 upon 2 does not belong to natural number. So we can see that here for every value of y, there does not exist the value of x. So therefore, we can say that therefore f is not onto. So from this, we can say that when the domain changes from real number to natural number, the function remains 1 to 1, but it is not onto anymore. So I hope you have understood it well, and thank you.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.